We have capacity to influence environment, to influence other people, to influence the universe with our intention. I'm not a businessman, I'm a scientist, and the experiment that we are doing, we try to prove it. We are light beings.
Wow.
We are spiritual beings. We are part of universe creation. We are not just clever monkeys. We are the whole system. It's impossible to divide body, mind, and spirit. It's all one system. My intention to change the consciousness of the world, to teach people that we are not just physical bodies. We are spiritual beings. We are part of universe. And if people understand this, they change the attitude to everything. A lot of people, they live in stress, they live in anxiety, they live in fear. This makes their life miserable. And then they can recreate their own life to be happy.
There goes a sight from my soul.
This week's episode dives deep into, well, what can I say? It's human bioenergetics. Konstantin has actually gone away and done 2 decades worth of research on the human bio field and basically come to the conclusion that we are beings of light. How did he come to this? What did he discover? What does that mean for us as a species? What does it mean for our consciousness? What does it mean for our thoughts, how they emanate, how we receive information? This is such a rich conversation. It is based in hard science, but then like it's opened completely spiritually. It is a really intriguing conversation to feel into what potentially the human species even is. And yeah, it's just a really rich conversation. I found it really intriguing to just contemplate what it really means to not be just meat and matter, but to be, something that, is completely measurable in hertz and joules and, just walking around as frequency and light. Touch wood. It's a bit of a trip, touch wood, but enjoy this trip. Tune into the episode. Hopefully you're going to love it. And let me know what your thoughts are. Welcome to the Inspired Evolution. And we have with us today, Konstantin Korotkov. Konstantin, welcome to the show. It is such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Oh my God. For those that are tuning into Konstantin for the first time, he is an author. He wrote the book, The Energy of Health, Understanding BioWell Analysis, and we're definitely going to be talking about BioWell and what that means and what it is. He is a computer science and biophysics professor. He's dedicated himself to the study of the human energy light system. What is the human energy light system? What is like the Kirlian effect? Where do I begin with you, Konstantin? There is so much ground to cover. But first place to start, I guess, is to ask you the question, how did you first become interested in the human body and its energetics? Because it's not something that many people, I would feel, are generally aware of, let alone dedicating their entire scientific and computer science background and awareness and understanding to trying to decode and then give information about which your work does. So what was going on in your life? Who were you? Who are you? Where did this start? Please explain.
Okay. My background was quantum physicist. So I graduated university in Soviet Union in Leningrad as quantum physicist. And that's why I was involved in the university, in different institutions with laser physics, plasma physics, cosmic physics, optics, so different fields related to quantum physics. And my first PhD was on quantum physics in 1982.
1982.
But then I had different interesting stations in my life, spiritual stations. Once being a PhD and having some job in physics, I met one of my old friend who told, Konstantin, I was looking for you. Do you want to be involved in a very interesting project? Okay, tell me. Okay, this is total secret, so you need to promise me that it will be just between us. And the project was to create the system of telepathic communication between
Oh,
submarines and satellites, or our cosmic stations. So it was a
right.
big state project in Soviet Union in 1980s.
Hmm.
So I became the deputy director of this laboratory, and we had unlimited funding, unlimited.
Wow.
We was able to buy any equipment we needed. And every summer we were coming to Baltic states, to Latvia mostly. We were given some building. It was school, was empty for summer. And in this school, we were able to establish our equipment, a lot of different equipment, and to
Mhm.
make experiments. And plus, we were able to select gifted people all over the Soviet Union
Yeah,
and brought
right.
them there by the state order. So people was given an order to go to service, compulsory service. So
Mhm.
this way, after in 2 years, we were able to find out conditions for telepathic communication between people.
Really?
And later on, I developed approach between person and technical systems, different sensors. So I developed a set of sensors that respond to human intention.
Mm.
And this gave us, so it was well developed. We wrote several reports. Later on in 90s, mid 90s, I wrote some papers about this because by that time in 80s it was forbidden. It was a total secret.
Mm.
So it became clear for all of us that our human system, it's
Mm.
not just physical body. It's not
Right.
our mind. It's not our brain. And our
Yeah.
conscience is not product of our brain. It's not like bile in our body,
Mm.
or juices in our stomach. So it's
Mm.
much more than that. It's a part of collective consciousness. It's a part of universe. And that's and before I was always interested in philosophy, in religion, in arts. So that's why for me it was very natural to pay much more attention to this side of life, to
Mm.
consciousness. And you know that by 80s, 90s, it was very unusual to study consciousness.
Yeah, I imagine.
But I was lucky to meet some people who've been using Kirlian photography. It was line, yes, very thick line, to
Yeah.
study light coming from different subjects in electromagnetic fields and
Uh-huh.
to make records of this on photography, on photo films,
For the
photography.
film.
It was
Yeah, right,
beautiful.
okay.
And thousands of people was involved in this field, but this field wasn't scientific.
Mm.
Because you have beautiful pictures, wonderful pictures, colorful
Mhm.
pictures. But in science, first of all, everything should be reproducible
Repeatable. Yeah, absolutely.
and repeatable. So it means if you study something, it should be same day by day.
The
My
next time.
temperature when I am healthy is the same, and it should be same practically while I'm healthy. If it's changing, then it's something going on.
Wrong.
Plus, it should be repeatable. So it means if someone is doing some experiments, someone else should repeat it in other part of the world.
Mm.
That is why Nobel Prizes are given to people only after many, many years of their discovery.
Yeah.
Should be repeated in other parts of the world. So with Kirlian photography, it was very difficult, practically impossible. That is why I came to understanding that we need to transform from Kirlian photography to something else, to modern technology. And in 1995, with our team in our technical university, where I was a professor by that time, we've been able to develop absolutely new device. So this device is using more sophisticated hardware. By that time now, of course, we're improving every several years.
Yeah.
And our modern BioWell device is totally different from the previous ones.
Yeah.
Then the most important, we are using sophisticated software
Yeah.
and algorithms. So after many years of study of discoveries, I've been developing many algorithms. And all our algorithms was tested in clinical practice. So again, I was lucky to meet interested people in universities in Russia, in Georgia, in Armenia, in the United States, in England, France, who was interested to do something new, was interested to study something that is related not only to physical body, but to more broad understanding of human being. And you know that this way I've been developing step by step, and now what we have now, of course, it's great, great development, a big step forward compared with what I studied.
It's incredible. So the fundamental question to ask, if we are not just our body and we're not just our mind, we are a part of the universe and we are a part of consciousness. What does that mean tangibly? What are we? Are we, some people, like, are we light? I know that is a question that could be derived from your studies of the human light system and what the BioWell device does, but I don't want to program your answer. What are we?
You see, now we have big research in consciousness in 21st century. And first of all, it is related to neuroscience, because neuroscience now have powerful instrument which allow to study the activity of brain and nervous system in real life. So it's amazing, of course.
Yeah.
And the achievement was done in the last maybe 10, 15 years. It is amazing. So now we have understanding how brain operate in different situations, how and where we have the seat of different sensors, our vision, hearing, and so on, how we feel, how we create emotions. And that is why big part of scientists, they believe, understand, that all the consciousness, this is in the brain.
This is common. Yeah, even my logo for the Inspired Evolution is the brain. Yeah. But
at the same time, there are another part of scientists and top level scientists in neuroscience,
what do they
in
say?
psychology, in physics, who think that it's not everything. Yes, we are operated by our brain. Yes, we have physical body, but we are much more than that. We have capacity to influence environment, to influence other people, to influence the universe with our intention, with our thoughts. And science, which I'm involved in, and the experiment that we are doing, we try to prove it with repeatable experiments. So it's not just my idea to develop technology and methods which allow all interested people to repeat our experiments, to create their own experiments, and to prove that we are light beings, that we are spiritual beings, that we are part of universe creation, that we are not just clever monkeys, but we are much more than that. And there are huge between apes and old monkeys and a human being. So it was, of course, I don't know who has created us. Was it some aliens or some spiritual topic creatures? But for us, it is absolutely clear. It was a huge gap, artificial construction between human and animal kingdom.
Yeah, wow. Were you ever able to communicate from the submarines to outer space? Like, did the telepathic, like that was the mission you were initially set? Were you able to telepathically communicate? And did you be able to pick sensors?
Yes, of course. It's not very complicated.
Really?
It is, yeah, absolutely. It's quite easy. For example, I use it in my everyday life. When I need to contact some person, I have no time to call, I just ask a person to call me. And most cases, people call me or people meet me, or very typical again, you recall some person you haven't seen many years, and then you meet this person. It's very typical. So this is the topic that, in principle, a lot of us, we use in everyday life. The only topic, people don't believe in this. People are afraid of this. That is why they block themselves. But if you are open, if you understand that this is possible and this is nothing special in this, then you can use it. And it's a lot of anecdotal cases when people send emotions to each other. when
Yeah.
people feel emotions of other people. So it's very typical. Same as communication with possessed people, past from with other worlds. Again, it's quite normal situations.
Yeah, I was going to ask, why do you think people are afraid of this? But maybe I'll use myself as an example. I guess one of the concerns is probably the right word I have, is that if I'm able to telepathically communicate out, am I always broadcasting? This is the question, right? Am I always broadcasting? Because I have some thoughts sometimes which I go, like, that wasn't a thought that was aligned with myself. Sometimes I have these darker thoughts or concerning thoughts, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I fear malice from someone that I'm walking down the street, let's just say as an example, but that person's innocent when they come closer, but from afar, like, ooh, and then, but how much is that? I imagine that's probably why the fear is there about, my mind is attracting things and I'm attracting the world to be a certain way with my mind, because we don't have complete control over our mind, it seems, and the quality of thoughts that we're thinking. Is that
No,
the key fear?
yeah, we need to understand, and it's proven now, that about 85% of what is going on in our mind is out of our conscious control.
Yo.
Because we accept millions of signals every second from everywhere. And of
We're
course,
like antenna, right? Sorry.
Yes,
that's so
and we
interesting.
don't respond to this. We don't even mention this because we don't have to. Otherwise, it would be our brain would be overloaded. So we have very clear system of control. How right brain, a sensitive brain, send information to left brain. And then with left brain, our system makes analysis. Oh, do we need this information or don't? For example, very clear example. All the ladies, all the women, they can describe what was the color of a shirt of a lady yesterday, what was the color of her shoes, what was her dressing, what was her rings. If you ask men, nobody, practically nobody can tell us. So absolutely different system of comprehension.
Right.
And men's brain, classical men's brain, it makes attention to much less details compared with women's brain.
Yeah.
So this is just an example, and it's a natural example. So same way with all our intentions, all our thoughts. We have internal, introvert side, and we have extrovert side. And of course, different people, different. We'll work a lot with autistic children. Of course, they're totally introvert. They're totally closed. And to get some access to their internal part, it is very difficult. It is really hard job, and we should be very professional people. So that is why when you are inside yourself with your own thoughts, with your own emotions, you are inside yourself.
Right.
But when you want to send something outside, when you send some intention, when you send love or unfortunately hatred, then it can influence, of course, other people very easily. That's why you can easily detect people who are nice and who are already radiant with positive energy, and you can detect people who are negative.
Right.
So it is absolutely clear, because we all influence environment, and we also influence other people.
I have to ask this question. I find women are more clued in and tuned in naturally into these sort of intuitive awarenesses. Have you found anything like that in your research, or is it much the same for men?
It's not me found, I think. It's just a proven fact that mind of men and women different.
Yeah.
Different corpus callosum. We have different activity of different parts of the mind. So, of course, women, they are much more intuitive.
They are, aren't they?
Have more developed right brain activity.
Yeah.
Compared with men. Men typically are more logical. Of course, it's like two polarities, but most of people, they are in between.
Yes.
Of this. Most of people. And now we know that there are now a mix of genders, so that's why it's different. But still, we need to understand, we are two different species. We have different construction of the body, totally different. except of internal organs, everything is different. Yes,
Mm.
we have different endocrine system and
Mhm.
different activity of endocrine system, and it's dictate our behavior. It dictates our emotions. We have different construction of the brain, so it is specially designed to make our society different.
Right.
Because the only way of development of any system, including human society, this is diversity. The more diverse is population, the better. That's why
The more
if we have
robust the
white people, black people, yellow people, red people, that's very good. This creates our diversity. This creates the chance to develop, to make our system great. That's what we want now more and more. And we see example of this in some countries like Brazil, for example.
Yeah. What goes on with the BioWell device then? Can you describe us a little bit what we're reading when we're getting the BioWell device? Is it enabling me to be able to tell if someone is more loving or more hateful, or what am I using the BioWell device for?
Well, it's a complicated system. It's easy to use, but in reality, it's very complicated hardware.
The tech's full on. Yeah.
Yes. And we have very big software system, and it's now it's on server in Amazon server because it's really too big to be kept in the computer. And it allows us to see physiological and psychological features of a person. So we can distinguish what is the influence of psychology, what is the influence of physiology.
Right.
And we can study tiny details of the system. And what's important, we can see response of people to anything. For example, just yesterday, I've been here in Israel in one center of integrative medicine, and we did many very interesting experiments. They had 9 people with cancer, on different stages of cancer. And they've been using their own methods to increase their self-belief,
Right.
to increase their emotional side, to increase their energy. And we've been studying them initially, of course, and then after 1 week and after 1 month. Results was amazing, really amazing.
Really?
Yes. With BioWell, we've seen for all of them increase of energy, increase of activity of different parts of endocrine system, decrease of stress, balance of their chakras, and this is indication sympathetic parasympathetic balance. And of course, after this training, very complicated psychological training, very special, they all became much more aware in life. And even we understand that not all of them would live longer because of they have some aggressive cancer, but they live now full life, and they enjoy their life, even being having these difficult problems. So this is just an example. And BioWell was the best system to detect it, because in parallel we've been using, of course, blood tests. We've been using HRV, and Ronald McCarthy from Institute of Human Heart, HeartMath Institute, he will make his own analysis, and it's very good results as well, very good, because he really demonstrates response of sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system and balancing this. So our results was very well correlated. So this is just example. So BioWell, it is very powerful instrument which we use for express analysis on the first stage, which allows you to see practically all your organs and systems, and to see which areas of your body, plus to see emotional side, and to see the effect of emotional side to your system.
What does that look like? Do you see it in your different emotions in your different organs, or what does the emotional analysis look like?
Emotions, they're not related to organs.
Yeah, right.
Emotions we have as a whole system.
Yeah, okay.
We are the whole system. It's impossible to divide between body, mind, and spirit. It's all united.
Unified, it's all one.
Yes, it's all one. It's all one system. And only if we address to all this system simultaneously, if we keep our body strong and healthy, If we keep our mind active, if we keep our spirit clean, then of course we can enjoy our life.
Yeah.
Live long lives in good conditions. If not, then we deteriorate in some of this field.
Sorry, I interrupted you telling me the BioWell outputs.
Yeah, so that is why with BioWell we take readings, and it's 1 minute to less than 1 minute to take these readings, and then practically immediately we have analysis. And analysis based on many algorithms. And as I've told, all those algorithms, they are tested in universities and medical universities, in psychological departments, with big research, with hundreds of people. We have more than maybe 200 papers published in peer-reviewed journals. I have 15 books on this topic, and you can find it's all on internet. And of course, it's done by professionals. It's not just our team who was doing this. It was impossible. It was done by professionals, professional medical doctors, psychologists, researchers in different countries. That's the power. And I'm happy that after maybe practically more than 25 years of development, we never, ever had negative response. Never.
Yeah, touch wood. I would love to. So, part of me assumed prior to coming to this episode that the BioWell device was a diagnostic tool that it would give you input about it. But you mentioned that there were people suffering with stuff, that they were going through treatment, and the BioWell was able. I got the impression that it was able to help their treatment. Is it a diagnostic tool, or does it actually support your wellness, or of the things it diagnoses you're able to go can you describe exactly?
Yeah. So BioWell mostly we use for analysis of state, and it was proven that it's about 80% correlation with classical analysis. 80%, a little bit more, a little bit less. And we have in parallel we have another tool, BioCore, which is used for treatment. In reality, we use the word treatment because we work in the wellness area. Right. It's not a medical area as it is. So we are measuring human energy, biofield. Biofield is frequency, because we are frequency beings. Bioenergy, it's not just emanation, it is fields. And those fields are frequencies. They have their own frequency. And everybody...
Like Hertz frequencies?
Yes, it's different frequency. And of course, we know that there are different frequencies in our brain. Our heart has its own frequency, our muscles, everybody, everything. And then we are measuring those frequency as frequency pattern. We transform this frequency into music. We apply this music to a very special device. And then people have earphones. They have sensor on the forehead, and they have music, their own individual music, plus they have influence of super high frequency. Very low intensity, but this frequency comes deep into cell level. And as this frequency is modulated by your own energy field, your own biofield, then it allows all the parts of the body, all the cells of your body to resonate.
Yeah.
And in 10 minutes, you have very good effect, tremendous effect. Because it's like a guided meditation. You understand?
Yeah.
Because music is the best way for meditation. And very often we have different types of meditation with music.
Yeah.
And
well, binaural beats and all that sort of,
Then, of course, we have much stronger effect. Now we have another instrument of next level where we use this super high frequency and magnetic field, pulse magnetic field. And this has, again, now it is in clinical testing in different universities, in medical universities, but soon we'll be able to introduce it this year. Then another device that we are preparing for the market is device that use light. Light of different frequency, again, different colors. Again, it has tremendous effect. So that is why it is a complex. You can measure with BioWell your own state. You can see how you look like, what's your energy. Then you use this device, that device, this method, that method. Use meditation and you see effect. You see whether it's really good for you, whether you do it in the right way, or it's something that you should change or look for something else. That is our approach, and we are developing this approach, and it's very popular.
What is your ambition with all of this, Konstantin? What are you hoping for general wellness for the entire population? Because I can tell you're not thinking about just yourself. You're not just thinking about your family. These are tools that you're spreading widely. What is, I don't want to use the word ambition, but the intention is probably the right word. What is your intention for collective wellness with these devices?
You see, my idea, I'm not interested in business. I'm not a businessman. I'm a scientist. So I'm not interested to create business, to earn money. No. My intention to change the consciousness of the world, of humankind. To teach people that we are not just physical bodies, that we are not flesh.
Meat and matter. Yeah.
We are beings. We are spiritual beings. We are part of God's creation. We are part of universe. Wow. And if people understand this, they change the attitude to everything. They change the attitude to themselves. They change the attitude to other people. And then they can recreate their own life to be happy. Because the goal of life, to live happy life. Not every day to be happy, but all in all to have life which will give you pleasure.
Full life. Yeah.
And a lot of people, they live in stress, they live in anxiety, they live in fear, and this makes their life miserable. So it doesn't matter how much money you have. You have billions, millions, or you have your just salary. It's most important, it's enough for life, and that's it. But the most important, to be happy. That's the most important. And to be happy, you need to have love. You need to love someone in your life. It may be some who are nearby you. It may be someone who you are devoted to. It may be even some dog or cat.
Yeah.
The most important for people to have someone to take care of and to love. That's the main and obligatory condition of happiness.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Harkening back to the telepathic ability of humans, does it only work from human to human, or does it work from human to matter and things as well? Or let's just say, does it work? Let's start with, does it work from human to pet? Let's just say, can I get my dog to follow me telepathically, or is it mostly human to human connection?
You see, just here in Israel, I have one colleague who is a dog trainer, and he helps other people to train their dogs. And he has developed this approach to telepathically communicate with dogs.
Yeah.
And he demonstrated himself, his helpers. They telepathically tell dog what to do, and dog follow their commands. So that's quite possible. But of course, we need to understand this telepathic communication. It needs some concentration. It needs intention. It needs understanding of this. So it's not just easy. Other way around, when we do it collectively, that is why we have many cases when people meet collectively in groups and under good trainer, like for example Joe Dispenza or Lynn McTaggart or some other talented people.
Yeah, people we've had on the podcast.
Train them. Yes. How to make impact. And if people are trained, and if we can detect this with our sensors, because we have special sensors for this, then people understand, yes, it's reality. It's not just my crazy imagination. It's fairy tales. It's just reality. And then they slowly can use it in their everyday life. And then, of course, it makes their life more strong and more powerful.
Yeah, that was one of the books Lynn wrote as well, right? The Power of 8. When you get 8 people together with the intention, you can actually see the effect. And I think your devices were instrumental in helping her figure that out. And also with a lot of Joe Dispenza's work, he relies on your devices quite reliantly there. What would you say? I'm sure being in the field of spirituality, being in the field of science, being in this space of wellness, Konstantin, you've come across people that have been like, I still find it hard to believe that I'm a being of light. I am meat and matter. Leave me alone. What what do you say to people that find it difficult to believe that they are light? Like, do you invite them to come across and have a
We need
reading?
to
Or
understand that not all the people believe in this, and not all the people understand this. There are many people who are just materialistic, and they think that everything is materialistic and it's okay. So I never try to argue with these people. Yes, if you don't believe in this, okay, it's up to you. If you want to develop your spiritual side, that's another story. So that is why, first of all, you need to have intention. If you are interested to develop yourself, if you are interested to switch from just materialistic life to much more open life, then you should do it. And then you should follow this path without paying attention to other people,
other people's
position,
naysaying.
because
Yeah.
we understand that if you are in some company, then someone will think, oh, you're a crazy person. And it's very typical. I know this attitude for decades.
Yeah.
That's normal. But if you do, and you understand, you do it first of all for yourself, not for someone. Of course, if you want, you can teach other people. And I know that some people, they do it. But most important, you do it for yourself. That's why you should be sure in what you're doing. And plus, you see thousands and thousands of examples, wonderful examples. We have great spiritual teachers for centuries. We have this our Western world. Now it's a beautiful people. I met many of them, and they're all wonderful people. And we have this the great development now. More and more people are interested in this, in involved with this. Of course, it's not millions yet. There are maybe tens of thousands of people, but still. So it's your choice whether you want to be pure materialistic, or you want to think that there is something more than just our flesh and our reality. Then it makes life much more interesting.
It does, doesn't it? You had some interesting experiments with water as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with an awareness of water?
I invented special instruments to study light photon emission of water.
Yeah.
And we had many experiments. Just this year, this September, we'll have a big conference in Amsterdam on this topic, on different topics of water study, because we have a lot of new development in water study. And I have a book published on Amazon.com. You can find it together with my dear friend and colleague, Professor Vayekov, about new science of water. So we understand that now we have a notion of structured water. And it's not just, again, it's not fantasy, because first of all, we have concept, quantum electrodynamic theory of water. It was developed by Emilio Del Giudice, very great physicist, theoretician from Italy. He passed away, unfortunately, but we were all good friends. And this theory explained what does it mean water, and it showed that in some conditions in water, molecules may resonate with each other.
Yeah.
And then we name it as plastered water, as structured water, and this water has very special properties. We had many experiments with big group of people. For example, once we had experiments with a group of athletes. It was athletes, young people, and 25 people. They had for 1 month. They were drinking structured water with special device, and 25 people, they had same type of water but without structure.
Not structured.
And yes, after 3 months, we had great difference, really significant difference. We use different instruments. We use evaluation of their physical abilities. It was big difference. So it means that if we drink good water, structured water, pure water, then it comes directly to our cells, and then it helps us. So that's why I'm using several liters of water per day.
Yeah. I'll toast you on that. We also we actually have when we used to rent in Melbourne City, we actually had a tap filter for the shower and for the kitchen tap, and it was structured water. It's a structured water filter, and now we have one that we've bought our own place for our whole home, and it's really heartening to hear you reflect your sentiments on that. Constantine, I'm conscious that those that are tuning in want to find out more about how they can get more awareness around the BioWell devices and how they can find out, like, are these devices purely in the experimentation, like, are they for labs, or can people access some of this information? Can we find out a little bit more about ourselves as human beings? What do we do?
If you look to our website, biowell.com, bio-well.com,
Bio-well, yeah, I was going to say.
Find some information there. Plus, we have our colleagues and our friends, distributors, practically worldwide, including Australia.
Yeah.
So you can reach them, you can see what's going on. And this instrument, in principle, it's for all people who are professionals, because mostly people need it if they have some clients, if they use some in their activity. I don't think that BioWell as it is needed for home use. But this year we put on the market new device. It is so named BioWell Mobile. This is little device of this size. It operates with mobile phone application. For iPhone, for Google phone, for any type of phone. And this device, of course, this is for home use.
Okay.
With this device, it is very easy to check your biofield, to see how it looks like, to check your level of stress every day, to check your chakras, balance of your chakras. And this is really very, very important because, for example, you do some meditation, and you can check your before and after. This process takes maybe 40 seconds. Check.
So worth it.
You immediately see it.
Yeah.
So that is why this is, plus, of course, you have your colleagues, your friends, you demonstrate them, and you work together with them. And again, you see the effect of this. So we present this device on the market somewhere maybe in autumn. Because now we're in the process of certification, it's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, I bet.
It's ready for production, but still it's a lot of paperwork. But then it will be for everybody. And then it will be available for everyone. It's not expensive. So it's easy to use. We have all of the explanation, description, and it's very understandable. Because we don't present graphs or... it will be graphs, but only for people who are interested. But mostly those are images.
Yeah.
Our world now live on images.
Visual.
That's why when you see the image of biofield, it's understandable. When you see the image of chakras, it's understandable. When you know that your energy yesterday was 48 joules, but after exercising you have 65, then it's clear. It's impressive. So that is why I believe that this device would be very efficient for everybody.
I love that. We'll put links in the show notes to, Constantine's TED Talk and also Constantine's, the BioWell website and other things in below as well. Constantine, thank you so much for this conversation, but also it's informed by, like you said, at least 25 years worth of research and probably a lot of naysaying along the way as well, like you trying to communicate to, satellites from submarines all the way through to helping us understand that we are beings of light. Man, the work of, Joe Dispenza, Lynn McTaggart, these people that are teaching the world that we are spiritual beings and they're being supported by the work that you're putting out in the world. It is such a blessing to have you here with us, sharing yourself so abundantly here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my great pleasure, and I was always happy to talk with you.
Inspired Evolution Tribe and audience, thank you so much for tuning all the way in. You listened all the way through to the end of another episode. I cannot even believe how inspired you guys are to evolve. If you guys tuned into this episode, you will also likely find Lynn McTaggart's episode on intention. Really, really powerful. We're going to link it in just here. In this episode, Lynn basically goes into talking about the power of 8. When 8 people get together and collect their intentions, things actually shift and manifest and happen. And now with Constantine's work, you can probably tell how she was able to tell whether those shifts were happening or not happening. So check out that episode on the power of your intention. It's an entire masterclass. Check it out now. Keep inspired, stay evolving. Love you guys.